I really hope that you can hear me and the wind isn't too bad. But I've now ridden over 3,000 kilometers on this bike and I wanted to give you a review of it. So this is my review of the Specialized Crux. Let's go. First of all, I bought this bike because I wanted to swap out my Grizzly and Canyon Aeroad for a do-it-all bike. And I looked at several bikes. I looked at just a bunch of bikes. Maybe I'll list them down below. But ultimately, I think that this bike just caught my eye with the classic looking frame. I really fucking love the frame. And also I tried out my brother's and it feels so nice. Well, let's just do a rundown of how I've built my Specialized Crux up, because this is not something that you just go on and buy on the website, unfortunately, as I think that this is the best build for it, especially for a do-it-all bike. I've built mine up with the Sram rival Etap wide version, meaning that I've got a 33, I think, on the front. And on the back, I've got a 10 to 36 tooth cassette. And I just love the way that SRAM shift this. I love that you shift one shift at a time and how big the pedals are. And it's wireless, so it's easy to set up. And yeah, so far I'm really glad that I went for this. I think that the biggest downside with the SRAM group is just the brakes. I mean, the Shimano GRX are just magnificent. Like, those are fucking good. So these do the job. I've also set them up with the Lease CH40, which is my wheel sponsor for this season. I really like this wheel set. It's kind of like the all-road wheel set. Pretty wide internal. I can't remember the stats, but I'll throw them on the screen. 40mm Steve, look great with the black decals, nice and understated with the full black frame as well. Love it, really like it. And I've got the Wahoo mount from Hide My Bell, I believe it's called, and it's got this nice bell mount as well as a GoPro or mount for lights. Just a great mount. On this one, I've got a 30. I've just got some unbranded, I don't know, I just bought it for cheap, 38 centimeters wide bars. And currently set up with the original 100mm stem. I have been experimenting with a 120mm and might go for that, but right now I'm going back and forth. And I've got the Selle Italia SLR Boost gravel version. Fits my bum really good. And of course you cannot go through a gravel setup without talking tires. I've got my favorite tire on. It's the Specialized Pathfinder Pro, not the SVX version. And it's a 42mm wide. I think I want to go with a 47, but I'm kind of curious to see if it will fit with the front shifter, as I'm also looking to upgrade the front of the bike or the front of the gear group with a 46 tooth on the front. And to do that, I might go with a normal shifter, which gives less space for bigger tires. But the frame can do 47, so I might just pop on a 47 on the front. But yeah, anyway, that's my that's the rundown of it, I think. Okay, so I just really quickly wanted to clear this up. All this talk about wide, non-wide. I went for the wide version of the SRAM rival Groupset because I wanted to make sure that I had enough clearance for anything that I could throw on the bike. The biggest chainring that the wide Groupset comes in is a 4330 at the front. So that's why I'm limited at a 43 and ended up with a 43 tooth chainring at the front. But I do actually think that I have enough space to go for a normal shifter and chainring at the front, so I might switch to that in order to get a 46 or maybe a 48 on the front. At the moment I have about 7 millimeters from the front derailleur to the tire, and I believe you should have around 5 millimeters. I'm not really sure, but around 5 should be alright. So switching to a normal front derailleur and crankset, I should still be able to fit a 42 millimeter tire on there, even though my tire measures up at a 44 millimeter. My first thoughts from this bike was that it was actually quite high off the ground compared to the Gristle, which made it feel more agile and fun, I guess, on gravel, because it's harder to corner that kind of stuff, but also made the Gristle a fucking monster in corners. Like, that bike is such a good gravel bike. But this one, I think, ultimately is just a far, far better do-it-all bike, because it's also fun on the road. I mean, I really like how this bike handles. It's such a fun ride, which is also why I've chosen it. Fun and comfortable. But maybe we should try and dive a bit further into the ride quality, actually. Like, what sets this bike apart from the Gristle? I think if I had to choose only to have a gravel bike, like a race gravel bike, I'd actually go for the Gristle. Like, that bike that bike can shred. This bike, however, just feels that smidge more exciting to ride, and especially when I pair it up with my Lee's CC50 wheel set on the road and a 30 or 32 millimeter tire. That's just, man, this bike goes fast. The Gristle can feel a bit more sluggish on road, I think. Okay, so as I said, overall I'm really pleased with the group set that I've got my bike set up with at the moment. However, I would like a bigger front ring tooth, and also I do get some chain drops here and now again, but it's not anything crazy. Like, I'd probably get the same amount on a one-by setup, but yeah, one-by setup is more clean, more easy to like when you're racing. It's nice to have a one-by, I think, just popping out of gears. You don't have to think that much as you do with a two-by. But this is an all-road bike. I need them bigger gears to go fast on descent and also these flat races in Denmark. And for that, the 2x setup is a no-brainer. Like, you have to go for a 2x setup. And as I quickly touched upon in the intro, I love the looks of this bike. I really like the classic look of the frame, and also I don't think that it looks too weird when I pop on the road tires, which some gravel bikes, it just looks like it swallowed the wheel set. The Gristle, for example, when I put on road tires and that thing, just looked like it swallowed the wheel set. But this one actually looks kind of alright. It's not perfect. Like, you see the tire clearance get kind of funky when you put on smaller tires, but yeah, I really enjoy the looks of this bike. And again, the Lee's CH40 just makes this bike look fast. Like, I love deep section wheels on a round tube frame set. Looks crazy good. Okay, so if I should just quickly touch upon durability and long-term performance for the Crux versus the Canyon Gristle, there are some things, like, this is more of like a race bike. Like, it's built to be the lightest gravel bike there is, and therefore it's not as durable in some places as the Gristle, which is made for mounting bags and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I think that the durability is great on this bike. And another big plus for the Specialized Crux versus the Gristle is that it's got a threaded bottom bracket, whereas the Gristle has got the classic press fit. And I gotta say, this is one of the things that actually moved the needle to me moving to this bike, because when you ride gravel, the bottom bracket just has to get changed quite a lot, I think. And there's just so little margin for error when you're running a press fit, whereas the classic threaded bottom bracket, you just, screw the bottom bracket on and it fits like a charm. No squeaking, no nonsense, just works. And I love that. So if it just should sum it up, this bike is the best do-it-all bike I could find right now. Because of the looks, it kind of looks like a road bike compared to these funky gravel frames that's out there. There's of course also the aero frames like the Rose Backroad FF and the Factor Ostro VAM gravel as well. They look great and probably also ride a bit more like a road bike. But for comfortability and like funness, like a fun ride feel, I think that the Crux still comes out on top. But I would love to try more bikes. I mean, so it's not like my final boss, I think, this one. But right now, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying the looks of it. Really enjoying the ride feel. Biggest thing for me is genuinely the fucking ride feel. It feels so fun. No matter if I'm on road tires or gravel tires, it's just pure fun. And I mean, that's why I ride in the first place. But if I were to upgrade this thing, I'm gonna put on a bigger front ring, and I might also look into upgrading the headset bracket as well, as I have seen that Ceramic Speed actually have a headset bearing that you might not need to service. I haven't checked this fully, but they are actually promising that you don't have to service it. I don't know how, but like the headsets gets destroyed fast when you ride gravel and clean your bike a lot. So that will be a major fix. Like that would be so great. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Specialized Crux. Let me know down below what's your bike and why have you chosen the bike that you're riding, and also the type of riding that you're doing. I'd love to hear that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. But before you leave, remember to subscribe and like. Bye bye.